All right, guys, I'm back. I have no idea what was going on with my stream. The only thing that I was able to determine through troubleshooting was that Elevatex. I was using it, and I think it was really hurting my system somehow because I turned it off and I started streaming again, and lo and behold, the stream health is extremely good now. I'm not having any drop frames. I'm streaming at 24,000 kilobits per second. The only thing that changed was that Elevate text thing that I had talked about the night before. I don't know what was wrong with it, what it was doing, but I got it. I turned it off, and now all of a sudden, my aircraft is flying a lot better. So hopefully, we won't have any more disruptions like that as we continue on to Oakland. We're already over on to Unicom, and we're climbing through flight level 265 for 360, and hopefully no more interruptions. What a shame that that first segment of the stream didn't go well, because you know what? That was a nice takeoff. I did a good job on that, and it just didn't work out. So, oh well. All right, crew, we're leveling off here. It looks like the autopilot did a pretty terrible job capturing that altitude this time around. Came up quite a bit short. Not quite sure why it elected to level off so low. Yeah, it's gonna have to catch that up. Hopefully, it's something that Rotate guys can tune on their next update. Okay, So since we have some time here, I've been meaning to do like a little tutorial video. Let's see here. How long do I have? I got about 10 minutes. I kind of want to go over the MD-11 autopilot system tonight, and I'm going to record a long form video to go with this, just so I can kind of make this another tutorial video for the MD-11. But let me get this thing leveled off at 360 first, and let's figure out when our top of descent is, so we know how much time we have to talk. It's probably taking me about 10 or 15 minutes to go over this thing. All right. What do we got here? Still in climb mode, huh? There we go. All right, 111 nautical miles to top of descent, 410. Gives me. Well, that doesn't give me a whole lot of time. You know what? Tell you what. I'll do this on another evening when I have more time, because I really want to go through the entire autopilot system and go through every knob and button, how all this stuff works. But it's going to take me more than 15 minutes, or I'll have to rush it, and then we still got to do our descent planning. So guess I'll just leave it alone for tonight. But I will do it soon, because I've been wanting to put together a video on it. Anyway, let's start doing some planning here. Um, let's get the CTAF frequency for Oakland. Okay, Oak 12720. All right. Let's get that standing by. Got the throttle set at cruise power. Fuel planning wise, looking really nice. Always like to land with 20,000 pounds, so we're looking perfect. Ending fuel on board at Oakland is predicted to be 20.5. Nice. That's so cool. I never do these flybys. I never do these views. What else do we got? What does this one do? Oh, okay. This is like a ground observer. There's our plane way up there in the sky. All right, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our descent and approach checklist, because we don't really have a whole lot of time before we got to start down. So landing data, let's take a look here. Estimated landing weight is 437.6, which is going to give us an approach speed of 160. VREF for 155 at flaps 35 for a 10,500 foot runway. That should be fine. Let's plan on auto brakes minimum for that. Take a look at the chart here. Oakland Airport. Landing on runway 30. I typically don't make this Whiskey 5 turn out, so we'll plan on a full-length rollout here, and we'll probably exit around Whiskey 6. There is a taxiway that's closed right now. I don't know what it's called because it's not marked. But let's go ahead and just plan for a full-length rollout because I just don't see us making Whiskey 5. Not without some really heavy braking, and I'm not in the mood. So plan on Whiskey 6, and we'll taxi back. Make a left turn onto Bravo. Right turn onto Sierra, and we'll be parking kind of in this area here. But we can confirm that by checking the UPS Virtual Air Cargo website because we have a chart that shows where we're supposed to be parking our aircraft at. Let's take a look at that now. So airport information, we'll type in Oakland. And there it is. UPS ramps over here. So we'll be parking with the tail facing to the northeast, Sierra ramp nose facing towards runway 30. That's where I've always parked before. All right, so since we're using full length, auto brakes minimum, we'll be fine. And we'll probably kick off into manual braking pretty quickly down this this landing roll. So we can just kind of extend it out. I will use reverse thrust, but I probably won't use max reverse. I'll probably use like a medium thrust setting for that. Arrival and approach briefing. Let's take a look at the arrival. We're on the MZO3. This thing's got some really funny fixes. Okay, so you got MZO. We got to be at or above 280. Then you have my jaw. 280, 220, 220, schism, my rib, my hip, my knee, my shin, fix me, my calf. Isn't that pretty funny? I think these are really funny fixes here. So let's make sure all these crossing restrictions are into the FMC. And at Franny, we're going to pick up the ILS approach into 30, but let's check the fixes first. All right, there it is. My jaw, schism, my rib, my hip. Crossing restrictions are in the box. My knee, my shin, fix me, my calf. All that's in there. Looking good. All right. Let's talk about the approach. We are on the ILS 30 approach, which we did not load up yet. Let's do that. So ILS 30 from Franny. Okay. Here's the approach plate. So at Franny, we're going to be at 4,100. Then we step down to 2,700 feet at Wuvon. And at the final approach fix, which is my toe, get it? My toe, my shin, my hip. All right. We need to be at 2,000 feet. From there, we'll pick up a 3-degree glide slope down to the runway threshold. Runway threshold altitude is going to be, what are we at here? 9 feet, barely above sea level. Okay. The decision altitude is going to be 209 baro. The MSA from the Oakland VOR is 5,100 feet, 5,100 feet from our direction of flight. Okay, missed approach. In the event of a missed approach or go round, we're going to climb to 600 feet, then climbing left turn to 4,000 feet on heading 260 and outbound the Sausalito VOR radio 110 to Sausalito VOR and hold. Continue climbing and hold to 4,000 feet. Okay, now that's the published missed approach procedure. But if there's no ATC and there's not a lot of traffic, let's just plan on flying a left closed traffic pattern and coming back around and shooting the approach again. We can do a visual or ILS again. Any questions, crew? All right, let's make sure we have the radar tilted down. Windshield anti-ice is not required. Decision height is going to be 209 baro. That's set. Minimum descent altitude is checked 5,100 feet. Seatbelt signs are on. And to the line for altimeters. All right, crew, we're ready for descent. 46 miles to go. About 6 minutes. How's everybody doing tonight? I see I got some people watching. That's nice. Always more fun flying when I have company as opposed to doing this by myself. How you guys doing? Oh, oh, auto ATC. We don't care about that. Okay, electrical's good. Air system looking good. Fuel looking good. All right, cool. Just waiting, guys. A couple more minutes and we'll be heading down. Hey, Bob, how you doing? Oh, I'll give you a good landing tonight. I promise, Bob. Oakland is a nice long runway. Oh, let's check the weather. Make sure I don't got any crazy crosswinds or anything going on here. I don't think I do. Okay, the wind. Here's the weather at Oakland. This is 13 minutes ago. Arriving on 30. Wind 28014. That's right down the runway. So we'll have a nice, good headwind here. Altimeter 3007. ILS and visual approaches runway 30 and 28 right. Uh-oh. Unauthorized laser illumination event at 0400 in the vicinity of the San Leandro Marina. Green laser from the north. Ah, oh, really? That's up in this area. Oh, wow. And that was at 0400. That was very recently. Unauthorized laser activity. Somebody's lasing us out here. We'll be on the lookout for that. Other than that, this should be a really nice landing, Bob. Thank you for joining me tonight for that. Oh, have you Bob, do you fly into Oakland a lot? Like, what's your experience with it? I've been in here a few dozen times in my flight sim career. Briefly, back in FSX 15 years ago, I flew for FedEx Virtual. I flew MD-11s in and out of there. And then for UPS, I've flown in there quite a bit. Okay, vertical alert. Reset altitude. I'll set that at 10,000 feet for now. Until we it gets slowed down at 10,000 feet, we'll continue on down. Okay, altitude reset, 10,000 feet. Throttles are idle. Heading down. You talking about Oakland? I don't think Oakland's that small of an airport. Um, I live in Southern California, and I was just up in Central California this last weekend. And in January, I was in San Francisco, but I flew in to SFO. I didn't go into Oakland. I try to stay away from Oakland as much as I possibly can. That place is, ugh. Oakland's a rough town. Let me put it to you that way. I guess you're right. Yeah, when you compare it to San Francisco, it is definitely smaller, less busy. All right, crew, descending to flight level 300. We're gonna level off. We need to cross MZO at or above 280. We may cross the fix before we get there, though. All right, crew, we are cleared down to 220 per profile. All right, there's flight level 260 and speed 280. Okay, drag required. Speed brakes extend. I'm going to retract the speed brakes. It says it wants me to add drag, but it's adding thrust. So can't want me to slow down that much, I guess. All right, let's try adding more drag, and hopefully this time it doesn't add thrust as well. Okay, looking good. Speed brakes retract. Okay, on speed, back on a little bit low on profile, but it's coming back in now. Through flight level 230 down to 17,000. The altimeter setting is 3007 when we get there. Okay, back on profile. Look good. Yes, absolutely. So I monitor the descent profile here, and you can also check it here on performance page. It will tell you if you're high or low or long or short. We're about 125 feet high on the profile, but that's very easy to correct. The FMS will attempt to do it on its own. Okay, stand by for transition altitude. Let's go. Altimeter's 3007. 3007 on the standby. 3007 set and cross-checked. Oh, the MD-11 is a lot more modern than the MD-82. I actually have the MD-80 in sim here, and it's pretty archaic when compared to this. MD-11 is a lot more modern. Yeah. Okay, crew. Looking good here. Send it to 14,000. Let's get the webcam back on. Okay, let's start slowing her down. Looks like we're not going to make FMC just think we're going to make these altitude restrictions here. So I'm going to give it a hand here. Let's get some speed breaks in here to slow us down a bit so we can get down. Oh, you want to see outside view? Sure, man. It's kind of night. It's kind of dark. These wing views are pretty cool. Up, 1,000 to go. Let's reset. Speed brakes, extend. I'm gonna take a reset out to down to 4,000. All right, exterior lights. Approach checklist complete. Yeah, man, this is my main jam, dude. All right, Oakland Airport we're visual with it way out there. That's Oakland there. That'll be the runway we're landing on. And out to the left is you can kind of see. This is where San Francisco Airport is over here. Yeah, Oakland straight ahead. Here, man, I'm gonna let you watch me extend the slats. All right, let's go. Slats extend. Okay, looking good here. So it's been my experience on this arrival that the FMC kind of spits you out kind of high. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to just go ahead and do vertical speed mode here because I want to make sure we get down enough. Let's go vertical speed 2,000 feet per minute. And I'm going to go ahead and go flaps 15, help get us slowed down. Flaps 15. All right, we'll take it at 1,500 feet a minute. Let's dial in the CTAF for Oakland. 127.2. It depends on the flap setting and the airspeed. We are decelerating to 190 knots right now. Okay, localizers live. Got DME on the ILS, so 18 miles out. Okay, 4,500. Vertical speed. That's arm approach and landing. All right, and then down to 4,000 feet. Okay, localizer capture. No glide slope yet. There's the glide slope. Oakland traffic, UPS 316 heavy on the ILS 30 approach, DME 13. All right, glide slope, gear down, flaps 28. All right, little fast here, correcting. All right. All right, flaps 25. Before landing checklist. Landing gear down, 4 green, spoiler handle, arm, auto brakes, minimum. Flaps and slats, flaps 35 are set. Altimeter's cross check 3007. EAD is check, green box, landing clearance. Oakland traffic, UPS 316 heavy on final 30, 10 miles out. Good land. I see the traffic departing. Southwest Airlines 737 is taking off now. Tell you what, I think I can handle this. I'm gonna go ahead and take over here. All right, crew. Missed approach. Heading. Is set, missed approach, altitude set. Autopilot coming off. Auto throttle. My aircraft. Okay. Get little gusty winds here. Okay, a little bit off localizer, correcting. Glide slope, correcting. Yeah, we're getting a 30 knot headwind when we should have about 14 knots. So that's probably what's causing a little bit of this disruption here. That wind's starting to come down. Oh yeah, there's another gust. Okay, getting a little fast, correcting. Okay, on speed. On the Pappy's, localizer is good. Okay, a little bit low, correcting. Manual braking versus normal. Okay, I guess we will make this turn off. All right. We made Whiskey 5. I didn't think we were going to do it. Oakland traffic, UPS 316 clear, runway 30 at Whiskey 5. Taxi to the cargo ramp via Bravo. All right. After landing checklist. Spoiler handle. Up, retract, disarm, flap handle. Up, auto brakes. Off, radar switch. Off, landing lights, runway turn off, and the strobe lights are off. Nose light will keep on. Anti-ice is not on. APU starting, and the stab trim. Let's start working that down right now. Had a lot of stab trim in for this. Thanks, Bob. Sorry I wasn't paying attention to you guys too much. I was really focused on this approach. Okay, aircraft 3 degrees nose up. After landing checklist complete. All right, left turn on to Bravo. Bravo. Okay. Apparently it's raining here. I did not see that in the ATIS. And it's not raining anymore. Good old X-Plane weather, right? Yeah. So when the weather permits and the workload permits, I do like to turn the autopilot off around 2,500 feet and fly the approach by hand if I can. If I can, I'll keep it in a lot longer. But I didn't have a lot of traffic to worry about. ATC wasn't bugging me, so I figured I'd do it. All right. So we should be making a right turn here. Oops. Okay, marshaller in sight. All right, parking brake set. Parking checklist, transponder. Standby. Fuel switches off. 3, 1, 2. Leading engine anti-ice not on. Windshield anti-ice not on. Windshield defog leave on. Emergency power switch on. Emergency lights stay on. IRS switches leave them on. Beacon lights off. Wheel chocks ground power unit. Wheel chocks ground power unit. Parking brake released. All right. External power on. I'm gonna leave the APU running. All right. I think I might, guys. What do you think? Should we do a return leg? I can get this thing ready to go in 10 minutes. It's only an hour back to Ontario. I'm down for it. You guys want to go? You guys will go back to Ontario? I can do it. All right. Let's look at it. All right. So we're clear all the way down to weight and balance. Yeah, let's do one, man. We're gonna take it back to Ontario. You guys can watch me do the flight planning real quick. I will do it as fast as I possibly can. All right, so I got to book the flight back on the UPS website. Yeah, I like this flight from Oakland and back. All right, let's go to Flight Operations Center, aircraft, MD-11. We'll do Oakland back to Ontario, which is UPS 315 with 254 November Papa. Book it. Nice. Oh, by the way, what was our landing rate here? I didn't get a good look at it. It says 221 feet a minute. I thought it was a bit smoother than that, but at least we're on VREF, right? I thought it was smoother than that. Whatever. Okay, so let's plan the flight. Let's go sim brief. What was our landing fuel, by the way? Shut down with 19.2. Not bad. Okay. New flight. Oh. Well, that's not good. It's going to be kind of hard to plan a flight without my flight planner. Interesting. Okay. Let's try it again. It appears that SimBrief does not want to cooperate tonight. That's surprising. Well, we may not be able to fly, guys. If I can't plan a flight. Wow. It's just really, really slow. Well, let me see if that comes up. But I'm going to kind of need that to get all my flight planning good. The server took too long to respond. Oh, bummer. Come on, I really want to fly this thing, but I need the flight planning to do it. Well, guys, I think I won't be able to fly with you tonight any further. I cannot get SimBrief to cooperate with me here. Hmm. Well, that's a bummer. It's not the browser, it's the service. I think SimBrief is just not working right now. Oh, we're good, we're good, we're good. UPS 315 K Oak, K Ontario. We are going to take MD-11F. 254, 254. Generate the flight. Man, that thing is really slow. Okay. Either way, let's pre-file this thing on BatSim. We'll log off at XPilot real quick. File this flight plan. Okay, flight plan is filed. We'll log back on with the new call sign, 315. 0641 on the squawk code. I'll do that now so I don't forget. 0641. Okay, weight and balance. Let's take a look at the weight and balance for this flight. Okay, let's unload and reload Oakland to Ontario. Flight plan here. All right, cost index 58, 40 knot tailwind. Flight level 370. Cargo weight very light for us, 132.4, and the fuel is 39.7. So 39.7. Trip fuel is going to be 15,200, and the cargo weight 132,400. All right. That's going to give us a takeoff weight of 423. That's pretty light. And a landing weight of 408,000. That's really, really light for me. Okay. And now let's go ahead and do our flight plan initialization. We're going from Oakland to Ontario. Alternate will be LAX. KLAX. Cost index 58. Flight level 370. Call sign UPS 315. And the ISA offset is minus 51 plus 39. Looks good, looks good. Flight plan. All right, out of Oakland, we're going to be departing on runway 30. Uh-oh. There it is. 30 on the Candle 5 with the... What do we got here? What is our route? Candle 5 KX transition. Let's put this back on plan so we can watch it. Insert. All right, at KX, we're going to go direct to Lotion. LOSHN. And from Lotion, we're going to go to Shafter, EHF. And then from there, we're going to pick up the Ziggy 8 arrival into Ontario, and we'll plan on the 2-6 left ILS approach. Oops, Ziggy 8, ILS 2-6 left with the Pettis transition. Insert that. Let's check our route. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that route. That's perfect. All right. So takeoff, be flaps 15 again. We're going to use flex 60 again because we're really light. There's no need for more power than that. The outside air temperature is 16 Celsius. And the current wind component is a 14 knot headwind. So 0 slope minus 14 for headwind. This is a V speed of 136, rotate 144, V2 157, clean maneuvering 236. All right, FMC is set. Fuel quantity looks good. Take off on the right. Legs on the left. Let's go back to map. All right, final cockpit preparation checklist. Sorry if I'm not meaning to ignore you guys here. I'm just doing my setup. Okay, FMC has checked and set. Flap takeoff selector, flaps 15. FCP airspeed is going to be set to 250 knots. FCP heading. All right, so on the Candle 5 RNAV departure, the initial heading is 296. 296. FCP altitude, flight level 370. Altimeters are cross-check. Auto brakes, RTO. IFR clearance is obtained. Transponder, squawk code 0641. Taxi takeoff departure brief. Okay. So we are at Oakland and getting ready to depart here. Our taxi, our pushback will be onto Sierra, and then we'll taxi down Sierra to Tango, Tango to Uniform, Uniform to Whiskey, hold short, Whiskey 1, and depart on runway 30 on the Candle 5 departure. So the instructions for us here are climb on heading 296 to 520 feet, then direct to cross Lee J at or below 2,000. So this is a really, we have to be very careful not to blow through this, right? Then on track 296 to Candle, left turn direct to cross port at or below 10,000. So the reason we had to make this really sharp turn and low is because we had to mine San Francisco departing traffic. So San Francisco's to our south. So if we just start climbing unrestricted, we're going to get into their departures. So sharp left turn at or below 2,000. Once we cross Lee J, we can continue climbing. But then we need to level off and cross port at or below 10. After port, down to KX, unrestricted climb after that. Okay, takeoff taxi departure brief is performed. Before start pushback checklist, status page is on engine. APU is already on. Doors and windows, let's close those up now. Aux hydraulic pump 1 is on. APU power is already on. External power is off. Let's pull. Parking brake is set. Wheel chocks and ground power unit are removed. Beacon lights on. APU bleed is on. ACARS. Let's make sure we have ACARS set up for the next flight. Oakland to Ontario. Flying on VATSIM. Okay. Push to start clearance. Let's get that going here. Okay, don't see any other traffic here at Oakland, but that could happen at any minute. Oakland traffic, UPS 315 heavy, push and start on the cargo ramp onto taxiway Sierra, tail facing north. All right, clear to connect. All right. Pushback plan. We're going to push back here. And then on to taxiway Sierra. Oh, it doesn't like that. Okay, let's just try to do it like this then. Nation B. All right, crew. Fifth push. Parking brake released. All right, crew, we are clear for engine start. Let's try this again. All right, we got air. Got hydro. Let's go starting engine number 3. Button out, light on. Rotation in 2. Oil pressure's on the rise. Oil pressure's good. Fuel on. Fuel flow, EGT. %. Button in, light out. Starting engine 1. Button out, light on. Rotation in 2. Oil pressure. Looks good. Fuel on. Fuel flow, EGT. Button in, light out. Okay, good start on engine 1. Starting 2. Button out, light on. Rotation in 2. Oil pressure. Fuel on. Fuel flow, EGT. Button in, light out. Good start, all 3 engines. Brake set. Okay, engine and wing anti-ice not required. APU bleed on. Off, correction. APU bleed off. APU is stopped. Wait on the ground signal. Let's go ahead and do our taxi check. Let's flaps the slats. Flaps at 15 degrees. Spoiler handle armed. Stab trim. Looks like we need... Oh, what's going on with this thing? All right, 5.2 aircraft nose up. .2 set. Takeoff data confirm 136, 144, 157. V2 plus 10 is 167. Flaps retract 167. Slat retract 200. Clean maneuvering 234. Okay, takeoff, taxi departure brief. There'll be no updates to that. Tilting the radar up. Put the transponder to TARA. Nose light on. Status page config. All right, got the hand signal. All right, taxi clearance. Oakland traffic, UPS 315, heavy. Taxi to runway 30 via Sierra, Tango, Oscar, Whiskey, Whiskey 1. All right, crew, you ready? Let's roll. Parking brake released. Okay, noticeable steering is checked, left and right, and the parking and brakes are checked. All right, flight controls checked. Ailerons left, 3 green. Ailerons right, 3 green. Elevator up, 2 green. Elevator down, 2 green. Rudder left, 2 green. Rudder right, 2 green. Flight controls checked. Free and clear. Okay, left turn coming up here onto Tango. Okay, right turn on uniform coming up here. Okay, before takeoff checklist, status page, engine. EAD is check green box. Profile, navigation armed, auto flight. Let's hold on the lights so we get a little closer to the runway. Okay, this is Whiskey here. Okay, exterior lights coming on. Radar switch on. Okay, we'll keep it rolling here. Oakland traffic, UPS 315, heavy departing runway 30, Calify departure. All right, TCAS is clear, clear on the left, clear on the right. Runway heading 296. Okay, crew, we are clear for takeoff. Safety on the left, safety on the right. All right, crew, let's stabilize. Okay, power's good. Engine parameters are good. Brakes released. Set takeoff thrust. Thrust set. Airspeed's alive. 80 knots. Clamp. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Okay, remember, we gotta be at or below 2,000 for Lee, so expect the power to come back quite a bit here as we approach that fix straight ahead here. Okay. I'm gonna start lowering the nose here so we don't blow through that. If you look straight ahead, guys, you can see the Oakland Bay Bridge and uh, the Golden Gate Bridge out there in front of us. Okay, so we need to be at or below 2,000 at Lee, so thank you. Sorry it was kind of restricted here. Normally this thing takes off like a rocket, but with this altitude crossing restriction, it kind of makes it harder. Okay, we're about to cross that, and then we're going to probably go straight for the moon here. Okay, there we go. Clamp thrust, 10,000 feet. Okay. I'm going to turn on the autopilot here so I can enjoy some views. Look at that. That's a screenshot right there. All right, speed checks. Flaps retract. And slat retract. Let me get that too. That's awesome. All right, tell you what. I'll take back over here until we get 10,000 feet. Oh, getting a little fast there, and of course I was too busy looking out the window. Okay, another crossing restriction here. All right, let the autopilot take it again. We need to cross port at 10,000 feet. So that's coming up here. That's going to be this dog leg here, but we have to be at or below 10,000 again. That's going to be for San Francisco traffic, which is down there. Maybe one more screenshot. That's San Francisco airport down there. Oh, what's Sim Toolkit? Is that like this? Because I use VATSIM Radar myself. You can kind of see there's our track. And that's just passing over San Francisco now. All right, after takeoff checklist, let's run that now. Landing gear up, lights out. Spoiler handle disarmed, auto brakes off. Oops, wrong button. Okay, flaps and slats are up, retract. Flap takeoff selector, flaps 15. EAD, check no alerts. Exterior lights, we can go ahead and kill those now. Okay, and as soon as we pass port, we're going to go ahead and go to climb thrust and up to 370. Okay, climb thrust. Okay, pitching for 330. After takeoff checklist is down 2 altimeters. Similar, okay. That's cool. Okay, climb to 15,000. All right, Bob. See you in a minute. All right, 18,000 feet, altimeter is standard. After takeoff checklist complete. Hi, welcome back, Bob. Climbing to flight level 215370. Estimating top of climb 39 nautical miles, about 5 minutes. Short flight back to Ontario. Alright, let me save some of these screenshots here. You can see the stadium over there. See that? Down in the corner? That's the giant stadium right there in San Francisco. And then San Francisco Airport down there. Cool. Okay, climbing to flight level 280 for 370. Yeah, man. I was just in San Francisco in January. Had a good time there. Okay, leveling off at flight level 370. Landing field Ontario's looking nice. You should switch over to Econ Descent here in a little bit. Econ Cruise, rather. Okay, top of descent 133 nautical miles, 537. 15 minutes till we head down. All right, how are we doing here? 5:30. Oh, we need to start doing some descent planning here, man. Sleeping at the wheel. Okay, landing data. Nice and lightweight, 408,000 pounds. Approach speed 155. At flaps 35. Auto brakes minimum will be plenty good for that. 26 left at Ontario is 10,200 feet. So we should be able to make. I'm hoping we can make Sierra 8 turn off here. So we're landing on 26 left. Aiming for Sierra 8. And then we'll take Sierra back over to Whiskey, Whiskey to Yankee, and then back to parking exactly where we started tonight. We're on a Ziggy 8 RNAV arrival. Or correction, it's not an RNAV arrival. Ziggy 8 arrival. We're going to cross flavor at 14,250 knots. Everything else is as depicted. We need to be managing our speed carefully as we come over the San Bernardino mountain range here. This is the San Gabriels. This is San Bernardino. We're going to cross just barely 1,000 feet above the mountains here, and then we're almost going to be nosediving in to make this arrival onto 26 left at Ontario. We are going to be using the ILS 26 left approach from Pettis. And that is approach here. So we're going to come over the mountains over here. Our MSA is 11.3 within 25 miles of Paradise VOR. At Pettis, we need to be at 4,300 feet. When we get down to Munns, this is where we'll pick up our 3-degree glide slope down to the runway. 3,000 feet is where we intercept that. Runway threshold altitude is 926 feet. Correction, the decision altitude is 1126 baro. RVR 1/2 statute miles of visibility. The missed approach is a climb on 2,800, then climbing left turn to 5,400, direct Paradise VOR and hold. Continue climbing and hold to 5,400 feet. All right. If we do need to go around, we'll just fly a left closed traffic pattern for 26 left and come back around and try it again. That is your arrival and approach brief. Radar will tilt down. Windshield anti-ice. Decision height is going to be 1126 baro. Minimum descent altitude is 11.3, 25 miles from Paradise. All right, let's do weather check. We're at Ontario. This is really old. All right. Wind is 2504 knots, basically calm. Clear skies. Temperature 21. Altimeter 2995. All right, crew, wait for top of descent. Coming up soon. Well, I've had this Bravo for a little over a year and I really like it. So it's expensive, but I like it. So can't complain. It's good. I've never heard of the Tango Plus throttle quadrant though, but why can't I look it up now? Tango Plus throttle. Nope, that ain't it. Oh wow! Look at that thing. That's pretty cool, man. Look at that. Although I don't like some of the control positions, but it's modular, right? Yeah. It looks like it take up a lot of desk space too. It sticks out pretty far out there. Hmm. I wonder how much this thing cost. I don't think they've even made these things yet. Looks very similar to a Bravo, honestly. Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Didn't even hear about those yet. Yeah, you'll see as we come over the Cerro Mountains, we need to drop down really quick once we clear the mountains to get down to pick up the approach fix for 2.6 left. Well, I paid about $500 for the Alpha and the Bravo together on Amazon about a year ago. So if it's less than that, it might be worth it. But I don't know how much it's going to cost. That's kind of the deciding factor. Okay, stand by for vertical alert. There it is. All right, crew, heading down. We're out here in the desert right now. Okay, passing to flight level 300. Oh, something's going on at that airport. What's up with the cops? Okay, a little bit high on profile here. And I get a little fast. All right, let's see. Add drag. Okay, speed brakes extend. There's Palmdale Airport straight ahead. What is that thing? Oh, KC-10? DC-10 there? Really? Interesting. All right, speed brakes track. Yep, close to LA, and this is just so LA's out that way, and this is the San Gabriel mountain range in the darkness. I was just in LA the other day, and there's Palmdale. I flew in a DC-10 to Kuwait from Pope Air Force Base in 2004. World Airways. All right, altimeters. 299.5. Speed brakes extend. Altimeters set and cross check. Speed brakes track. There's Palmdale right below us. There's a beacon over there. What airport is that, little guy? What does that say? Hmm. What airport is that over there? Oh, Victorville? No, that can't be it. It's gonna be one of these little guys here. That's probably Victorville over there. Okay. There's Mount Baldy. You can kind of see it in the darkness right there. And then Ontario's going to be right on the other side of all this. Right over there. We should be landing in about 10 minutes. I'm using default scenery, no auto ortho right now. Um, I'm just using Sim Heaven. That's basically it. I do need to up my scenery game, but I do end up flying a lot at night due to my real life schedule, so I don't get to see a lot of scenery as it is. I don't really miss a whole lot when I'm flying at nighttime, so. All right, let's start decreasing airspeed here to 250 knots. It doesn't look that bad, no. Oh, I'm also using Drexel Max Light Mod. Um, that's kind of a big deal. That helps a lot. So this is probably why it doesn't look so bad. Is this? Let me bring it up quickly because I gotta start paying attention here pretty quick. But I'm running this light mod that does help with a lot of the night lighting here. So all right, crew, profile to 10. All right, add some speed braking here to get us slowed down a little bit. Good track. You can see Ontario Airport over there. That's where our flight originated from. We'll be landing on 26 left and parking over here. Already picking up the ILS for 26 left. All right, a little more speed brake. We're getting a little fast here. Let's go ahead and turn on the exterior lights now. And then straight ahead are the mountain communities for the San Bernardino Mountains. So you got Lake Arrowhead, Lake Gregory, Big Bear over there. All these things up here. Running Springs. 1,000 to go, but let's go ahead and reset the altitude down to 4,000 feet. All right, let's keep the speed brakes going. Okay, a little bit fast, but we're all right. Norton Air Force Base, right there. March Air Force Base over there. All right, more speed brake. We're still coming in a bit fast here, way fast. Let's get the speed down below 240, and then we'll go flaps 15. Oh, I'm not surprised. All right, let's turn on the CTAF for Ontario. All right, speed brakes retract, flaps 15. All right, let's arm approach and land. Airport in sight. No glide slope yet. Oh, we're way below the glide slope. Well, let's go vertical speed. Gear down. Flaps 28. Motion pickup. The localizer capture. Glide slope capture. All right. Remind me the final approach speed is 155. Okay, on glide slope. Ontario traffic UPS 315 heavy on ILS 26 left approach. All right, flaps 35. Landing checklist. Landing gear down 4 green. Spoiler handle is armed. Auto brakes minimum. Flaps and slats. Flaps 35. Altimeters cross check. EAD check green box. Landing clearance. Ontario traffic UPS 315 heavy on final. 2.6 left. All right, on glide slope on localizer. Autopilot coming off. Okay, it left me a little out of trim, but I can make it work. Okay, indicating a crosswind from the right at 12 knots. We'll see how long that lasts for. Yep, 155. Thanks, Bob. You're right. Okay, wind's coming down now. Whoa, that's a little bit of a it's a bit of a wind shear there. Okay. All right, auto throttle. Look at that wind shift. Look at those wind shifts. Jeez. Auto throttle's coming off. I think we got the final win here. Oh, getting real slow. Correcting. Yeah, the wind is really shifting on me. $1,000 to go. Okay, I'm trying to get back on center line here. Okay, there's another wind shift. Continue. $80 knots. Manual braking. Versus idle. Okay, at the landing checklist, spoiler handle, retract, disarm, flaps, up, retract, auto brakes, off, radar switch, off, landing light, runway turn off, strobe lights are off. Let's see, anti-ice is not on, APU, starting, and a stab trim. We got a lot of stab trim in. We gotta get that out of there. I'm taking it out now. Stab trim coming down. The fluidness of the flight. Thank you. $727 sitting right there at the ramp. Pretty cool. See a Primaire 767 somewhere over here. There it is. Stab trim. Okay, afterland checklist complete. By the way, this is not a this is a Payware's Ontario airport. By the way, this is not the stock one. I've been on a 727 as well back in 2004. All right, let's see what ACAR said that landing was. 121 feet per minute. A little better. On speed, more or less. All right, on the brakes. And we're going to park it right back where we started from a few hours ago. Okay, Parking brake is set. Transponders off. Fuel switches. Anti not on. Defog is off. Emergency power switch off. Emergency lights off. IRS is off. Nose light, beacon light. Little chocks ground power unit. Okay, parking brake released. APU external power on, APU power off, APU off. And there we have it, guys. Another good landing. I'll tell you what. Thanks. I wish that the takeoff out of Ontario had gone better. I was having a lot of problems with the stream. I think it was some third-party software I was running that was really causing issues. So I had basically just deleted that stream and started over. And I think you kind of came in after I had already taken off. But the departure out of Ontario was good too, and I had ATC, SoCal Approach was on, so that was nice. But uh, I like to put my airplanes back where I got them from. So we took this one out of here, took it up to Oakland, and brought it back so another pilot can take this thing out and use it. So thank you very much, Bob, for being here. I really appreciate your company. I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already. I live stream all the time, 737s, 757s, MD-11s, and I'm starting to learn the A320. And I'll get some other cool stuff as it comes out. But until then, I'll catch you on the next one, man. Take care.